Hey guys, welcome back. Joe Brunsman, insurance broker to the stars. Today, a viewer sent me this article. Are cyber claims really being denied at an alarming rate? Let's go ahead and jump on into it and see what the numbers show us. Now, before we begin, if you're an MSP out there, your MSA is many, many years old, or you don't even have an MSA or an SOW, please check out today's sponsor, xclause.com. First month is free, no long-term contracts. It's all month to month. Includes MSA, SOW, CPQ, etc. Please check out www.xclause.com. All right, this is the article that was sent to me. On your side, cyber insurance claims denied at an alarming rate, report shows. Wow, I want to see this report. What is this? Well, I Googled it, and these are some of the articles that popped out. Cyber insurance claims being denied. Rejection rate of over 40%. Industry sources reporting that between 25 and more than 40% of cyber claims, 44% of cyber claims are denied. Nearly 3 times as many claims were closed without payment. I watched 40% of cyber claims get denied. They're at the very bottom if you can see that. Well, that's news to me. Where's this coming from? Well, when you dig inside of this, this is from the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. This is what I believe most of those articles are really trying to reference. But what you're going to see here is primary policies. This is kind of, this is the first 2 bars. This is what your clients are most likely carrying. That would be just a standalone MSP policy. I'm sorry, a standalone cyber policy. Then you have excess policies. That's generally going to be policies above, say, 3 to 5 million, where you have to have more and more insurance on top of it. Endorsements, I'm not even going to talk about that. That's just little tiny, 10K, 50K, 100K cyber endorsements on some other type of policy. And then totals. So if we look at the primary here and we start crunching numbers, man, only 35% of cyber claims for primary policies are closed with payment. All right. Excess policies, even worse, 5%. Oh my goodness. And then in total, when you put it all together, about 25% of cyber claims are closed with payment. Man, what does that mean? Well, if only they would have looked a little bit deeper. There's this wonderfully unhelpful figure 9. It's actually right below that chart. And it's talking about payment where the case was closed and payment or without payment where the case was closed. And you go, okay, what does this even mean? What does closed with or without payment mean? Now, you have to remember, this kind of sounds pedantic, but insurance is all about a war of words. It's what do the words on the page actually mean? Now, next we need to start asking, okay, was this even a real matter that was reported? What am I getting at here? Is this a, oh my gosh, I 100% have a data breach. All my clients are telling me I see it on the deep web, or I got a ransomware event and I see the data exfiltration and I got the ransom demand? Or is this a basic business email compromise? Or is this a funds transfer fraud issue where the funds got returned and they caught it in time? We don't know. Now, is this a true claim, or is this a notice of circumstance where somebody goes, hey, out of an abundance of caution, I'm just going to report this just in case? You have third party versus first party notification considerations. So we have to start thinking, okay, did something happen? They contained it. Maybe they have a contractual requirement to report it. I've seen that. Maybe they're just worried that, hey, we think we're good. We're like 99% sure, but there's a 1%. We don't really know, so we're just going to report out of an abundance of caution in case it turns out we're wrong and we later get sued. We want to make sure we have checked that liability box. In short, this study that everybody's screaming from the rooftops, it's profoundly unhelpful. It doesn't really say anything useful, actually, and it's totally being misconstrued. So with that information, I was like, all right, maybe there's something a little bit deeper here. So I went to the supplemental filing instructions to dig a level deeper to try and figure out, what do these words actually mean? You'll see in front of you. You can read it if you want to pause the video. It says a whole bunch of nothing else, actually. So what percentage of cyber claims are actually denied? So we're saying, okay, only legitimate claims where an event actually occurred, where money should have been spent on the response, but the insurance company denied a claim due to some wacky exclusion, some deductible retention issue, some non-compliance with controls that were listed on the application versus what were actually in practice when the claim occurred. Nobody knows. I'll tell you straight up, nobody knows. I have written, I believe, the best-selling book in the nation on the topic of cyber insurance and cyber law. You can find it on my website. I won't email you anything crazy. I don't know. I've been studying this stuff for over a decade. I have no idea. Probably the only people that actually know this are the true actuaries within specific cyber insurance companies, and they're not letting that information go because they do not want that to be publicly available. All right? Now, what is this report in total that everyone's freaking out about? It's like this high-level marketing overview. It's a summary for regulators. These NAIC reports, they're meant for nerds like me. They are not meant for consumers. They are not meant for the public at large to try and look at the data without really understanding how insurance works or cyber insurance specifically or insurance law, to try and pull out some type of magical meaning from these reports. That's not what they are for, but that's what people are doing. Now, anecdotally, what does this all mean to you? I could tell you anecdotally, I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cyber claims over the last decade plus. I personally, knock on wood, I've never had a client where a cyber claim got denied. I've never seen it happen. Now, I have had 2 cases where there was a question of coverage. Now, in both those cases, the actual claims guy at the insurance company, it was the same guy. He was a moron. He ended up getting fired. That wasn't my goal, but he was just so bad at what he did that his boss eventually said, all right, you're bringing too much liability onto our insurance company. We're going to have bad faith claims. You're gone. I got a new insurance guy assigned to both those files. Both claims got covered. So take that for what you will. Now, I asked our wholesaler, who has an even broader perspective on this. I said, hey, man, are you seeing any type of mass cyber policy denials? He said no, and he laughed at me. To his best recollection, he's had something like 1, I believe he said, in the past 7 years. And that was this really quirky, kind of one-off, different cyber insurer, not in the mainstream, that had an exclusion based on social engineering buried way down in the policy on this mandatory endorsement. That's super rare at this point in time. Now, keep in mind, if cyber claims got denied with this type of frequency, all right, 1, I'm just an insurance guy. I don't know that much, but what I do understand is liability. And if I thought that I was selling something where something like 40 to 80% of those claims could get denied, we wouldn't be selling it because the liability against us would be astronomical. Our own insurance companies wouldn't even cover us if we sold it, if it was this type of claim denial frequency. Furthermore, hell, that'd probably be a national security risk. You'd probably have Congress pulling these CEOs of cyber insurance companies into Congress to testify, in which case we should have a myriad of TikToks or YouTube shorts of some random congressman getting his moment in the sun, blasting some CEO about consumer rights. If you know of one, send it to me. I've never seen one. Now, we, in my insurance brokerage, we have clients call us, something happens. We report matters all the time where I fully expect, I'm like, hey, there's probably nothing that's going to come of this. But you know what? Nothing's ever 100%, specifically in the cyber world. Why don't we just report this out in an abundance of caution? We'll pull it in as a written notice of circumstance. We'll check that liability box. You might waste 20 minutes of your time talking to some random insurance guy at the insurance company. He'll mark your file. He'll follow up in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Yeah, then he's going to, what we call, close the file without payment because nothing happened. But if anything were to happen, hey, you got coverage. So I would suspect there's probably a lot of CISOs, CTOs, CIOs, CEOs, CFOs, etc. out there who don't really understand cyber insurance. You have a whole metric ton of insurance brokers that don't understand cyber insurance. And they're probably just pushing these reports into insurance companies through an abundance of caution. And I can't really blame them. Furthermore, when you look at the excess policies where it's something like 5% are closed with payment, what does that mean? It means if you actually know how these policies are structured, if you have a primary policy, then you have an excess. Well, if you report something to the primary, you pretty much have to report it to the excess too. Even if you don't think it's going to get to that level, you do it. Why? Out of an abundance of caution. So even if your primary policy gets wiped out, just because they pay, it doesn't necessarily mean that the excess insurer is going to have to pay anything. Even if it is a covered claim, they may close that matter without payment because the amount of that event just doesn't reach into those multiples of millions that would actually trigger the excess policy to pay out. So in other words, either A, I am just that damn good at what I do, which, hey, I'd like to think so, or the real denial rates for cyber insurance for SMB clients, like the clients of your MSP, it's probably under 1%, all things considered. You got to do something really phenomenally stupid to outright get a cyber claim denied. Now, for your MSP, what do I think you should take away from this? One, please don't be afraid of those cyber policies. I still think that within your MSA, requiring clients to carry cyber insurance is a wonderful idea and one of the primary risk transference mechanisms that you can have. Two, could it happen? Could a cyber claim get denied? Yes. Could an asteroid fall through my roof while I'm sleeping in my bed tonight, hit me and kill me? Yeah, sure, that could happen too. All right. Is it all that likely to happen? No, probably not. It's probably not that likely. So in the list of things that you should be worried about as an MSP owner, having a client's cyber policy denied is probably not going to be in your top 200, 300, 400 list. Now, all of that is to say, yes, it could happen. A claim could still be covered and you could still get sued. So please make sure you have your MSA in order. There are all types of other provisions that could be implicated in a cyber event, whether a claim is denied or not, as far as your client's cyber insurance is concerned. So please make sure you have that MSA up to date. If you need help, check out our sponsor, xclause.com. Now with that, if you want to see an actual cyber claim get denied, I'm going to link it right above me here, and you will watch that video and you will go, damn, yeah, they really deserve that one at the end of the day. I think it'll make sense. This might sound crazy. You're probably going to be on the side of the cyber insurance company at the end of it. If you click over there, you can subscribe to my channel. All right, guys, with that, stay safe.